Hey everybody, my name is Alex with Hake Hardware, and in this video we are going to go over how to prepare your farmer drives for Space Acres in Windows 11. So this is one of the first things you're going to want to do because when you launch Space Acres, you're going to need to specify some farmer drives. And this guide is specifically for those that want to erase everything on a disk and use that entire disk for farming. If you just want to uh, use a small portion of that disk or create a partition of, another disk, then you're not going to want to use this guide because we're going to wipe everything. So don't proceed unless you want to wipe everything off the disk. And also just make sure that you are selecting the right disks as you go through this because we are going to be wiping everything. So if you select the wrong disk, you're likely going to lose your data. Okay, so the wiki will be linked in the description of the video. And we're going to jump over to Windows and begin. So the first thing I like to do is right click on the Start menu, go into Disk Management, and I know that I have two disks here that I want to prepare. So these have already been in use. They were used on a different version. They were used, or a different chain. They were used on Taurus, and I want to wipe them. Now typically, Space Acres, if you're coming from 3H or you're coming from Taurus, Space Acres is smart enough to know to wipe the disks, but I'm going to do it manually because the process is basically the same. Let's say you're using these disks for something else. Now you're using them for Space Acres. The process is the same. The only difference is, let's say you bought a brand new disk or the disk had everything wiped off it, like in Linux or something. It might be uninitialized and you might have gotten a pop-up. And actually, if I go back to the wiki here, you can see you might get where you must initialize a disk before Logical Disk Manager can access it. You can go ahead and click OK, and that will initialize the disks. They typically need to be initialized before we can create any sort of partition on them. So back in Windows, I know I want disk 1 and disk 2, so I'm going to right click and I'm going to just do delete volume. Yes, yes. And then same with this one. I'm going to do delete volume. Yes, yes. And you could just format it, most likely, but I like to just make sure that I am starting totally fresh. So these are both unallocated, and now I'm going to do a new simple volume. I'm going to click Next. If you just leave the default, that's going to use the entire disk. I like to start at the bottom for my farm, so I'm going to set this one as the Z drive. And then I'm going to make this farm-1, and you can go with any naming convention that you want. I prefer to just do farm1, farm2, farm3. And we're going to leave quick format and checked and NTFS and default. So we'll just click next and then finish. So that was pretty quick. We're going to do the same thing on this one. And there we go. The disks are ready to be connected to Space Acres. So you can go on to the Space Acres installation guide and get Space Acres ready to go. So hopefully this video was helpful. If so, leave a like and I'll see you in the next one.